When the time came to write the screenplay, there were multiple things that I was thinking simultaneously. I was thinking about the characters, I was thinking about the science fiction element because obviously it was going to be a science fiction film. But it didn't really all come together for me until I hit upon the theme. And the way I came up with it is that I thought, okay, we always sort of talk about what it takes to be a great leader, but what if we flip that idea and say, well, what it takes to choose a great leader? What is our responsibility in choosing a great leader? And once I came up with that theme, that's where I got excited because I knew this is what the whole story will have to lead up to. And everything had to come after that. That theme was the main story point that I was going to lead up to in the film. And after seeing the film, a lot of people talked to me about the theme of the film and they said that it reflects our times. But I feel that it's a universal theme. And for me, it's more interesting to do something that is universal, something that has always been true and will always be true. And I think choosing the right leader and our responsibility in doing so will always be true. It's a universal theme and not something just specific to our time. When it came time to write the characters, I was originally thinking to have a family storyline. So I would have a grandfather, the father, and the grandson. But as I was developing the story, I felt that I just didn't have enough time in a short film format to develop that properly. So I scrapped that idea, but I still kept this notion of having three different age groups. And so in the film, you'll see that all the three main characters are in almost that age group and they're not related. But that's where the whole age difference concept came from. The other important character in the film was the title character, the cosmic light. And the idea behind that was, I thought, what if there is an entity that is not a living being, but sort of like a cosmic user interface that you can interact with and connect with, and it connects with the people from where it came from. So, and it had a very different stages that it kind of went through, and you had to unlock that thing and kind of blows up into something magnificent. Sort of going back to what I really wanted to do with the film, which is create a spectacle. So it really worked out for me in terms of visually, but it also worked out for me as a character as to what I wanted the science fiction element to be. One of the important things for me in any screenplay is to make sure that it feels authentic, so that when the audience watches the film, eventually it feels real. It feels like it's really happening, that these characters are not just making it up. So what I did is that after the first draft, I met up with a PhD student and she looked at the screenplay and suggested me a few changes in the dialogue to kind of make it sound like what an astronomer would say. He would say this as opposed to say that, or he would put it this way as opposed to that way. And I made those changes. Apart from that, she also looked at the science fiction element. Now, obviously, it's fiction, it's not real, but I wanted to make sure that I'm not going completely against science, that there's some credibility in the film. And so she kind of looked at it and gave me some suggestions to fix some of those things. After that, she actually also worked on the documents that you see in the film. So there are scenes where the characters are working and they have some documents on the side on the table, or they're referring directly to a particular document. Those documents were created by her. And I gave her dates of when I was going to film, and she put those dates in. So some of the documents actually has the dates when we were actually filming. So it really added to the authenticity, and especially when the actors found out that what lengths I went into doing it, it actually invigorated them to play their characters. So it really helped the film overall when I had the science advisor working with me on developing the screenplay. When I finished writing the story, I could already see that it's going to be very long. And when I finished the screenplay, it was a 28 pages long screenplay. For a short film, that's a very long screenplay. Remember, I was suggested by people in advance to not write a script that takes more than 10 minutes or 15 minutes of film. And right there, I knew it was long. So do I cut it up or do I just keep what I have? And I did obviously look at if there's something that can go away without changing the story or changing what I'm trying to do with the story. But I felt that it's not going to help to just kind of randomly remove things and just to make it smaller. I always like to work as if this is the last thing I'm going to get to work on. And so I didn't want to cut it just for the sake of cutting it. So I said, well, you know what? It's going to be a long film. It's going to be a long, short film. And I'm okay with it. Yes, it's going to be difficult to get to the film festivals because they prefer shorter films. But I didn't want to make it smaller just to kind of get it into film festivals. I wanted to do a story. I wanted to make a film that really was I wanted to tell. And if this is the last thing I ever make, I wanted it to be as good as I could.